This is Fiji. Did you know there was once a military coup in Fiji that resulted in a prime minister being held hostage for an astounding 50 days? Hello and welcome to Opentiera. Today we are looking at the beautiful island of Fiji, which is renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, vibrant cultural diversity, and warm hospitality. Join us as we uncover the captivating allure of Fiji, from its pristine beaches to its rich culture. The Fiji Islands are located in the South Pacific Ocean, about 2,000 miles northeast of New Zealand. Fiji consists of over 300 islands, although only about one-third are inhabited. The two main islands are Viti Levu and Vanua Levu, which make up 87% of Fiji's total land area. Fiji has a tropical South Pacific climate, with average temperatures around 25 to 28 degrees Celsius year-round. The islands experience a wet season from November to April, where heavy rainfall is common. This gives Fiji lush, tropical vegetation across many of its islands. The interior of the two main islands is mountainous and covered in forests, while the coasts are dotted with smaller villages and towns. Sugarcane farming and tourism are two major industries that rely on Fiji's favorable climate and geography. An abundance of coral reefs surround Fiji's islands, which makes them a popular global destination for scuba diving and snorkeling. The Fiji Islands have been inhabited for over 3,500 years. The original settlers are believed to have arrived from Melanesia and Polynesia. These original inhabitants became known as Lapita people after the distinctive pottery they produced. Fiji was first sighted by Europeans in 1643, when Dutch explorer Abel Tasman passed by the northern islands. It wasn't until the early 19th century that Europeans began extensive trade and contact with Fijians, at first mostly for sandalwood. Warrior chiefs known as Ratus controlled areas of Fiji during the 19th century. Warfare and cannibalism between warring tribes were still practiced at that time. Powerful Fijian chief Seru Epenisa Kakobau united the tribes and proclaimed himself king, or Tui Viti, in the 1850s. In 1874, facing mounting debts, Kakobau gave up Fiji to the United Kingdom. Fiji remained a British colony for nearly a century, until gaining independence in 1970. During British rule, the UK brought in many Indians as indentured labourers to work on sugar plantations. Descendants of these Indian labourers remain an important part of Fiji's multicultural society today. Fiji endured a series of 4 military coups from 1987 to 2006, sparking widespread political unrest. Among these, the pivotal event occurred on May 19, 2000, when George Speight and an armed rebel group forcibly entered the Fijian parliament, seizing the Prime Minister, Mahendra Chaudhry, along with other government officials as hostages. The hostage crisis lasted for 56 days, during which the captives were held under tense and uncertain conditions. The discrimination and conflicts between native Fijians and Indo-Fijians have been an ongoing challenge. However, Fiji today operates as a parliamentary democracy, with former coup leader Frank Bainimarama serving as elected Prime Minister. The World Bank estimates that Fiji's total population is about 230,000 people. Fiji has a multiracial population stemming from its complex history. Native Fijians today make up over half the total population. The term Fijian legally refers specifically to the indigenous people, while citizens of Fijian nationality are referred to as Fiji Islanders. Descendants of Indian contract labourers brought to work on sugar plantations during British colonial rule now account for about 2/5 of Fiji's population, There are also small but economically significant groups of Chinese and European descent living across the islands. The predominant religion in Fiji is Christianity, which was introduced by European missionaries in the 19th century. Today, over 60% of Fijians identify as Christian, mainly split between Methodism and Roman Catholicism. Hinduism, brought by Indian immigrants, is the second largest religion, making up over a third of the total. There are also followers of Islam and traditional Fijian spiritual beliefs among the population. The official language is English, while Fijian and Fiji Hindi are also considered national languages of the Republic. Fijian dialects belong to the Austronesian family of languages. The Fiji Hindi dialect contains many English and Fijian loanwords, reflecting the language's blended Indian and Pacific history and cultures. Fiji has a developing economy that relies heavily on tourism and primary industries. As of 2022, the World Bank estimates that the country's total GDP is around $4.94 billion. Tourism accounts for roughly 35% of Fiji's GDP and employs approximately 150,000 people, making it the largest single contributor to the nation's economy. Sugarcane farming and production were historically the backbone of Fiji's economy. While it has declined in importance over recent decades, the sugar industry still generates around 3 to 4% of GDP. Additionally, subsistence farming and fishing help support local populations across Fiji's many islands. Fiji's manufacturing and processing industries contribute around 11% of the GDP. These industries manufacture food and beverages, textiles and clothing, as well as chemicals and metal products, primarily to supply domestic and export markets. Mining in Fiji is focused on gold, with some smaller-scale operations extracting silver, cement and marble limestone. Fiji also has an abundance of undeveloped mineral resources, including copper, iron and petroleum, indicating future potential for expanded mining projects. Fijian culture is rooted in indigenous tradition and heavily influenced by its history of migration and colonization. The native Melanesian and Polynesian people of Fiji have their own social customs and organizational hierarchies that remain important parts of modern Fijian identity. Traditional Fijian villages are tight-knit communities guided by chiefs, elders and social norms that encourage reciprocity and community bonding. Many Fijians continue long-held cultural practices like kava ceremonies, ancestral worship and oral storytelling traditions, important for passing down history and traditions. Fiji also developed a distinctive Indo-Fijian culture when Indian migrants were brought by the British to work on sugar plantations. This Indian diaspora community brought their languages, faiths, food and art to the islands, which blended with existing norms. Indo-Fijian culture is an integral part of the national identity. Fiji's cultural richness extends to various artistic expressions. In visual arts, Fijian craftsmen create intricate wood carvings, tapa cloth adorned with symbolic designs, and vibrant pottery reflecting their heritage and stories. Music forms a fundamental part of Fijian culture, with traditional tunes played on instruments like the lali drum, and meke dances accompanied by rhythmic beats. Fijian cuisine, nestled in the heart of the South Pacific, reflects a vibrant mix of flavors deeply rooted in the island's rich cultural heritage. With a fusion of indigenous tastes and influences from Indian, Chinese, European and Pacific Island cooking traditions, Fijian food celebrates the bounty of the islands. Fresh seafood, tropical fruits, root vegetables and aromatic spices. curry vakalolo mud crabs. This dish typically involves cooking mud crabs in a rich curry sauce made with coconut cream, along with a blend of spices and herbs. The coconut cream brings a creamy texture to the curry, while the mud crabs infuse a unique seafood flavor. Purini is a type of pudding that can vary in its ingredients depending on the region and tradition. It's generally made with a starchy base like cassava or taro, mixed with coconut cream and sugar. This mixture is then steamed or baked to create a sweet, creamy pudding. A popular dish in Pacific Island cuisine, kokoda is similar to ceviche. It's made by marinating raw fish, often tuna or other firm whitefish, in citrus juice, typically lime or lemon, which effectively cooks the fish. The dish is then flavored with coconut cream, diced vegetables like tomatoes, onions, and sometimes chili for a spicy kick. Levu food. Levu refers to a traditional Fijian or Pacific Islander cooking method, where various foods like meats, chicken, pork, fish, and root vegetables, taro, yams, sweet potatoes, are wrapped in banana leaves and cooked underground in an earth oven. The food slowly cooks in the earth oven's heat, imparting a smoky, rich flavor. Fresh goat curry. This dish involves cooking goat meat in a flavorful curry sauce made with spices like cumin, coriander, turmeric, and other seasonings. The goat meat is marinated and slow cooked in the curry sauce until tender, creating a hearty and aromatic dish that's popular in many cuisines around the world. If you enjoyed this video on Fiji, you'll love this next one.